Hello! Today is 6th of December, which means... What does it mean? It's another Advent of Code challenge to do. And we are of course doing these in the programming language NIM. If you want to know why, go check out the zeroth video where I explain sort of why I chose NIM this year to do these challenges. I promise you, it's not a really good video because it's the first video I have ever made to YouTube, but it is a video. Alright, and in today's challenge, we are tuning trouble. And what does this mean? So we've been given a radio, which has a malfunction, of course, and it receives a data stream buffer. Very technical term. What is this data stream buffer? It's a string of some sort. And through this data stream buffer, we have to find the start of packet marker. Yeah, you could see like this is the marker that shows that after this the data stream actually starts, something like that. I don't know, that's maybe the story. So I think this is not so hard to solve, but it was quite hard to understand all the clues being here in the text itself. But let's take an example, and I will go through again on the drawing board what I think is the solution. So for example, let's assume that we get this sort of a data stream buffer in the format of this string. So what we have to do is we have to move over this buffer in a rolling window type of manner. So, for example, the first window, and we do it like in fours, so to speak. So the first window would be MJQJ. Those are the first four characters in the string. And then, if in this substring there are duplicate characters, then this is not where we will find the start of packet marker. So then we go to the, then we sort of like, we discard M, and then we take in the next one, the next letter, which is P. So now we have J, Q, J, P. We have a duplicate, so we move along. And then we get to the next window, which is Q, J, P, Q, which cannot be it because that also contains duplicates. Cut! Alright, and so then we get to the last window, which is JPQM, and this does not contain any duplicates, so as it's here in the example. So then we look at, in this case, your subroutine should report the value 7 because M is the 7th character in this whole thing. Where do we have that M? Yeah, it's there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's the 7th character. So okay, so yeah, then then the answer is 7. And then here are a few more examples that I'm not gonna go through. And then we have the puzzle input, which is this ginormous string, and the answer would be just report the single number that we get from this. So I think we have an idea of how to do this. We have been to the drawing board. We have failed at the drawing board, which is good, so we got to debug a bit. So yeah, let's code. So now we have our example string in here. So let's actually do something like for index I and F, so we can iterate over it. And now we want to do sort of like the rolling window thing. Maybe there is something like this in nim, but I think let's do it manually. So let's just define like the upper index of whatever this is, and that's the index index plus 3, which is what, because we want to have four characters. So here we can see this is similar to our previous example on the drawing board. So this is how we would implement this rolling window. So next we need a function for check duplicate, and this should take a string and it returns a bool. And we can start by setting like result to false. So How do we do this? How do we do this? Let me think. Let me think. S at j. Yes, S at j equals item. That would be a duplicate, I think. Then we set result to true, which would mean we would have found a duplicate. So now we can do check duplicate, and we can pass in a substring. And this will let res return something like echo the substring, echo the res, and then just like that, so that it's not super messy. So true, there are duplicates, that's true. Duplicates, duplicates, not a duplicate. This seems to be working. I think so. So if res is false, then just like break, I don't know, and echo. So now we would like to echo the index plus 3, right? Let's see what this gives us. Okay, so it gives us, so yeah, this is true, 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 and then, okay, yeah, we're not printing the last one, but because it's breaking, and we just echo the index plus 3. We should actually have index plus 4, because in the advent of code logic, strings don't start at index 0, they start at index 1. So it would go something like that. So we will get 7. Which should be the correct answer for this example. If we now put in another example, we should, which one would that pick? That one. So we should get 10, and we get 10. So we are relatively confident that this is a working solution. So now, and I already actually, for once I have the input.txt here already. It's one long string, so let f is open. So yeah, we can have this sort of line f dot read line. Let's see if we just echo line and we comment this whole thing. What do we get? What do we get? Yes, we are actually getting that whole thing. Yeah, that's nice. And now instead of enumerate, I think we can just pass in line. Do we have to enumerate it? Oh yeah, and this should be then line that's high, and that should be also line. No errors. So okay. So we are getting 1625. Let's see. Can I get a drum roll? And Smith, and yes! 1 gold star. Nice. There should be a sound effect in this. Maybe I'll put in afterwards a sound effect. All right, hey. Let's move on to part 2. Part B, here we come. So now, instead of getting the some start of the marker in the buffer, we're getting some other marker, and instead of being 4 characters that we need to check in the window, we need to check 14 characters. So, well, I'm thinking, so 4, 3, so this will be 13, and this will be 14, and 2250. Ta-da! All right, I think that was maybe a bit too easy. I don't know, maybe we had just made this setup so nice and flexible, and it just by happenstance was that this was really easy to modify to be able to accommodate for this this thing, but yeah, I think I have to say, I think this is the fastest I have ever solved an Advent of Code challenge, to be honest. I don't know, does it have to do that I'm just getting more better at NIM? Or, but no, I think this actually was quite an easy task, to be honest. The only thing where we had to think a bit was this one, and this could have been, I could have messed that up easily. And it could have been a bit tedious to debug. But since after we got this one nailed down, everything else was quite easy peasy to do. All right. So this has been another Advent of Code challenge. Today was day 6. We are learning the programming language NIM. Today we didn't stumble upon any new interesting features of NIM. This was very, very boilerplate. Hope you enjoyed it. See you tomorrow.